All right, you are not going to believe this. Right next to me over here is the all-new Audi A5 Avant, and it was love at first sight because there's something gorgeous about this particular configuration with the 5-spoke alloys and this particular body paint. Although if I'm being honest, there's something about red that pairs awesomely well with the Audi brand. Now, I don't know if awesomely is actually a word, but it's just a word I made up because of how thrilled I am seeing this all-new Audi A5 Avant. Now, there's something you all need to know. Apparently, the new Audi A5 model is replacing the A4 model. So it's at this point something I have to get used to, because historically we all know A4 was supposed to compete against the BMW 3 Series and the Mercedes C-Class. Now, this particular Audi A5 Avant costs 55,000 euros. Let's take a look at it, because already what I can see is that the interior has gone very, very techy. Now, one thing I find quite interesting is how those alloys, they look a bit on the humble side, and yet you get those red calipers. Now, there's something about Audi that goes very well with red calipers. It looks awesome. Now, on the side view, it looks very evolutionary of Audi Avant models. I like how they maintain the teardrop shape over here. It is great. It is great. Now, when it comes to the door handle, I am not a fan of this concept. It's very similar to what BMW has been obsessing over lately. But thank goodness it's not a pop-out door handle like everybody has been obsessing over. So this is good. This is fine. Now, when it comes to the rear design, it's really Porsche style. I mean, to be fair, Porsche was the one that started this, and now Audi began obsessing with this over in the late 2010s. And I'm not entirely sure I'm a fan of this on the Audi A5 Avant, but it does look nice nonetheless. Look at the way they've done it this time. Look at this. This is awesome. You get parking sensors at the front and at the rear, but you don't get a 360-degree parking camera. And also, for a price of 55,000 euros, I just noticed that this hard plastic that's on the wing mirror. What's with the hard plastic there? And it's a bit of a pity, because the rest of the exterior looks very, very premium, like especially with this chrome touch right here. Now it is time to cover the interior of the Audi A5 Avant. Okay, so this is an exciting moment for me because it is very, very revolutionary. This is something very different, and I'm not entirely sure it's something... It's a very big step from what Audi was doing in the late 2010s. In the late 2010s, they had this triple screen concept. Audi has abandoned all this in favor of a third screen for the front seat passenger. Now, me personally, I prefer to have all the screens to myself. I prefer a driver-centric car. So again, this is my opinion. But when it comes to the context of what Audi has been doing, it is cool. But at the same time, I'm usually very... when someone starts touching my screens very often, I start getting annoyed. So I just rather tell the front seat passenger to not mess around with that screen. So I don't think on this particular Audi you have the screen. It's just this huge piano black trim that's present there. But otherwise, the steering wheel is very pleasant to hold on to. And this is the thing about the Volkswagen Group. They have one of the best steering wheel ever. I like the touch of the quality over here. This brushed aluminum that looks like wood. It's awesome. Then you get this piano black, 2 cup holders here, transmission. This is great. But there's just something about this area over here that seems a bit empty for a price of 55,000 euros, everyone. So yeah, it's something I have to get used to, because it's one thing that should be noted is that everybody has been aiming for simplicity for production reasons. You know, the more buttons, the more expensive it is to produce any car, not just for the Volkswagen Group, but for anybody. So I guess they've tried to play it minimal, which is good. But then at the same time, it's leaves me scratching my head thinking, what? Like, haven't they gone a bit too far? But otherwise, on the positive side, they maintain their identity. Like, they keep the start-stop button right here. This is great. Now, I'm going to confess, the very last time I saw a door that was very busy with so many buttons was in a bus from the 90s. So it seems like, yeah, putting all the buttons onto the door, keeping the door very busy. I'm not a fan of this concept, but something had to be done, right? And just like a Skoda, you have a third stroke over here dedicated to your cruise control. And you get driving palettes as well. Now it's time to check out the rear seats of the Audi A5 Avant. Now, because this is the estate version, you get a lot of headroom, and the ease of access is great. It's wonderful, but the thing is that stood out was the door handle. It's plastic, and the door has just a touch of leather to it. So it's like the back seat doesn't really get much compared to the front seats, everyone. But otherwise, when it comes to leg room, my leg room is good. It's just on the sides you have the railings for the front seat and the driver's seat as well. Knee room is good, and my headroom is not surprisingly good as well. So honestly, I'm impressed. But apparently, the rear seats can fit 3 people. So I can only imagine what kind of legs the middle person will need to have, because there is a huge ridge right here and the plastic sticks out. So in long terms, just be careful your feet doesn't touch this area too much. I think that's why it's hard plastic, so that it's easy to wipe clean. Right over here, you get this armrest with 2 cup holders. So this is good. This is quite comfortable, I think. You know, I think I like the overall ambience. I feel very good. It feels good. The seating is good. It's a bit on the firm side, but it's also on the sporty side, if I'm being honest. So with this armrest down, and then it's almost parallel to the armrest onto the door. So it's like an armchair, if I'm being honest. So it's good. It's good combined with the good visibility outside. And if you need some additional privacy, you get this curtain right here. Now it is time to check out the boot space of the Audi A5 Avant. I already have good feelings about it. Now, if there's one thing I absolutely like about this Audi A5 Avant is how it pairs very well with this mat over here, which reminded me of cross country. And make no mistakes, there was actually an all-road version of the Audi A4 and the Audi A6 back in the days, which meant on the side you get the plastic that surrounds the wheel. That's great. Now for this Audi A5, there's something interesting happening here. You get this beautiful metallic plating, and the body paint sticks out very proudly. So just be very careful that in long terms your luggages or heavy bags don't touch this too much. Yeah, otherwise you get this mat over here, which is rubber. It's durable. You get a latch over here to fold down the middle row seats. This is very practical. For the rest, it's very similar to the Skoda Superb and the Volkswagen Passat. How classic. You get a wonderful button over here for your trailer hitch hook. Electric rear doors. There. This is cool. So here's my conclusion of the Audi A5 Avant. It's a really interesting initiative by Audi, how they've gone on the route of simplicity for the interior, although this was the case since the late 2010s. Although it's a shame they abandoned the triple screen, where the third screen was dedicated to your climate control. Instead, they decided to give this screen to the front seat passenger. How unfair is this for all those who want a driver-centric car? But then I guess it's not the same thing as BMW. Audi has always been the tech geek out of the trio: Mercedes, BMW, and Audi. Although I have to say it's mostly Volkswagen Group. You know, they're the most techy and the coolest as well. When it comes to electric cars, I'm a fan of the Porsche Taycan. They nailed it when it came to the electric car question. But when it came to this, I'm still surprised they decided to get rid of the A4 name. They want to make it now A5. This is something that I'm convinced, I think personally it should not have happened. But then they have a plan and we have to trust it. Now, when it comes to the exterior, not much has changed. They still maintain their identity, although they did abandon the sharp edges in certain places, but they have to evolve some way or another. So they did a brilliant job, and I was quite impressed with this particular configuration. The 5-spoke alloys, the red calipers, and then this particular body paint. It was love at first sight. I was just walking in and I spotted this and I was like, wow, okay, I have to check this out, totally. Because there's a sedan just in front of this one, which has this beige body paint, and honestly, this is like the most Mercedes thing ever. In the comment section below, share me your thoughts about the Audi A5 Avant and the A5 model. Let me know what you think, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos that are on the run. And don't just watch. Let me know what other interesting cars are out there, and let me know what are your favorite cars as well.